Welcome to Mortgage Masterminds. I'm Richard Greaser, VP of Marketing at Sales Boomerang and Mortgage Coach. And I've got our CEO, Alex Kutsishin, on the line. And I've got our guest, I'm very happy to introduce Max Leaman, CEO at Loan People. Thanks for joining us, Max. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Look, in case you don't know who we are at Sales Boomerang and Mortgage Coach, you've been living under a rock since 2017 for sure. But we got big news today. Today, in case you're listening to this later, it's June 28th, and we came out with a big press release. It's the big announcement. Sales Boomerang and Mortgage Coach have announced that we're merged today. We got a new CEO, Rich Harris, who we're under, and we've got amazing things to give back to the industry. So look, if you want to learn more about Sales Boomerang, go to salesboomerang.com. Check us out. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to talk to you, and we can talk about how Sales Boomerang and Mortgage Coach can help your organization. Today, we've got Max. Let's focus on Max and Loan People. Let's kick it. We don't have too much time, so let's kick right into it. Max, you opened the Leaman Team. Leaman Team, I believe that's what it was called at first, and then Loan People, January 3rd, 2020. And at the end of 2020, you had 55 to 60 employees, and you did $577 million in volume, right?
That's correct.
From 1 year. You got to $577 million in volume. In 2021, $835 million in volume.
Correct.
Why don't you just tell us how this happened, right? You work with your wife. We all got to know. How did this happen?
So Leaman Team, I've been a loan officer for 20 years, and a long time ago, I decided I didn't want to be a branch manager, wanted to focus on my business. I kind of merged with another branch at a different company we were at the time. And, so around 2010 is when Leaman Team formed. And, we kind of grew that to about 20 employees, 5 loan officers, the rest op staff. I've been a part of some good companies over my 20-year career. And as I watched Leaman Team take off and we made some moves, I just kind of saw the behind the scenes about how a lot of these companies were working, and said one too many times, if this was my company, I would do it this way, or I would do it that way. And so in 2019, I decided to really go off on my own and start Loan People. So obviously Leaman Team was our first branch of Loan People. And we spent 2019 getting it set up. We opened the doors January 3rd, 2020. When we started, we were delegated underwriting from day one. We were an independent mortgage bank from day one. I really, coming from the bank world, I've always had a fear of brokering. I know there's a lot of very successful loan officers out there who do nothing but broker. That was a little bit different than what I'd been used to. So we opened up as an independent mortgage bank, and really just took off from there. We took our platform that Leaman Team used with marketing and different things, and have opened that up to loan officers that want to join us. The idea of the company is we're an entrepreneurial minded, flat level organization. So, branch managers that want to come on and bring their branches, loan officers that want to come on and join a branch or be their own individual branch. That's really what we are. We try not to have regional managers, area managers, divisional managers, all the different things that add up to higher interest rates on your P&L. We've really tried to create something where good quality technician loan officers who know how to originate a loan well from start to finish and don't want anybody bothering them. That's the platform that we are. We've got a great support staff. We're here to help when someone needs something or has a scenario question or putting something together. But, otherwise we're not here to micromanage anybody and really try to put all the profits back into the branch versus keeping them at the corporate level.
Quick question, Max. A lot of organizations start like you do, but most organizations don't end up having the success you have. Is the secret just being an open platform, open-minded? Because it sounds like there's a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I think it's a couple of things, right? Like we like to call what we've built. We our motto is flow blow, is what we call it. For loan officers, by loan officers, right? And I've been a loan officer for 20 years. Max Leaman Team we were top 10 in the nation. The last 10 years, top number 1 in Texas and in Austin, and that same time frame. It's about customer service, which we all know is important. It's about your knowledge and your ability to actually put a loan together. Anybody can take a W-2 hourly earner or a salaried earner and put that loan together. But how do you deal with the tough things? What if they don't have the right income? What if they don't have credit depth? What if they don't have enough money? There's a lot of different things that come into play. And how good are you at putting those pieces of the puzzle together? Fortunately, I've found my calling in this business, and I am very good at putting loans together. I would venture to say I'm one of the best. I've taken that. I've taught my team how to do things and look at things the way that I would. Obviously, when something comes up, I'm here to look at it and review it. But then all the other loan officers and branch managers that we're bringing on, same thing. I'm the CEO. I'm the head of sales. We have meetings every week, optional meetings. We call it study hall, where we let all the loan officers just get on a Teams call, since we're kind of all over, and just talk about what you're seeing. How did you fix this problem? What wins did you have? What are you having trouble with? But I've got an open door policy, and so when someone is struggling with something, and how do you put something together, I'm here to help. And that's the part of the job that I don't think I'll ever stop loving, that putting the pieces of the puzzle together. But I think it's a combination of that and then being transparent. Transparency is really, really big. I've worked at some companies where I didn't realize until after the fact that they were actually pretty good at some things. They just were not very open and transparent about how they were presenting the information, and everybody felt like there was something more going on behind the scenes. We put our purchase advices in the system. Any loan officer can go in there and see the purchase advice at any time. We get on and go over financials with branch managers every month. We do a fully allocated P&L, so the branch manager is seeing all the revenue coming from a loan. And then, we take our corporate allocation piece from that, but the branch manager knows exactly what they're paying. Full transparency. It's the only way to do it.
I couldn't agree more.
So I think it's those two things that really have gotten us to where we are. We've got about 18 loan officers now. We've brought on 5 branches in the last year. Looking at bringing on several more this year. And, we'll see where this thing goes. I don't necessarily have aspirations of being a $50 billion or $100 billion a year company. I really care more about quality and employee happiness. So that's what's really important to me.
But you definitely have a goal. Like I remember you told me the 5-year goal, right?
Yeah. We want to get to 5 billion, and we'd like to be at 5 billion in 5 years. And can we build something that is scalable to get to 10 billion in 10 years? It's the goal. That's the metric. Maybe we get there. Maybe we don't. I think that volume is always a metric that obviously we have to look at in this industry, because it's how we get paid. But, I think what can be a little bit more important than just volume is quality and happiness. So that's,
well, we definitely know that you've made it already, because you said you saw a homeless person walking around Austin with a hoodie. So you got that feather in your cap, man. That's some serious street cred.
Thank you.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's funny too. I used to be very pre-pandemic. I wore a tie every day. Loan officers needed to dress like bankers. I had kind of been shipped at by my operations staff at that point that, okay, maybe processors can wear jeans to the office and that's okay. But I really, in my mind, felt like we needed to we're bankers and we're dealing with hundreds of millions of dollars. And, you need to act as if, play the part. Right. And for me, I started as a loan officer when I was 20. So I had to figure out ways to appear older, because I was great on the phone. But then when that customer came in to take a loan application, I knew that look on their face where this guy's too young. He's a baby. He can't help me.
Who's going to help you do this, Max?
Yeah, exactly. Can you go ask somebody? And I had a few. Yeah. Can you go ask one of those other guys if what you're saying is right? Fortunately, I very quickly became the one those guys came to.
Right. That was you had to, right? You had to be like, look, I'm the guy.
Exactly. So that was always the thing. And then, the pandemic hit, and, it was like, okay, we're not seeing customers. And so, I kept coming in the office, a few of us, and I wore a t-shirt every day and, wore a hat every day. And sometime around that October, I realized, well, and then also I wanted everybody to be in the office. I was very anti-remote employee. Then all of a sudden everybody had to go home. And I realized people are just as productive, if not more productive from home in some cases. And, customers aren't doing business with a tie or a t-shirt. They're doing business with an individual that's competent and qualified to help them navigate whatever situation they go through. So, I stole it from another well-known company out there, and decided we're a remote t-shirt company. And now we've got loan officers every day when we're on all of our calls. Everyone's in Loan People t-shirts all the time, and it's comfortable. It's comfortable and great, right? Like, this is a super stressful business, and at least you can be comfortable while you're stressed out.
Well, I think this work from home, and it goes with what you believe in, Max. You just said very clearly your employee happiness is key, is like how they feel. And I think the pandemic created a situation where, for the first time in history, this concept of work-life balance became a reality.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I did not miss one dinner during COVID. Yeah. Not one.
Yep.
I did not miss one coming home from school moment. I did not miss anything, right? Even if they were running into my office and interrupting a conversation, which became a cool thing to experience too, the work-life balance became a real thing. And you're right, people started getting more productive. We had people that woke up normal, 7 o'clock in the morning. They're like, I don't have to drive anywhere. I'll just start looking at stuff now. All of a sudden, they're on at 7:30 in the morning, and if they wanted to stop at 4, they could, but they're home if we ever need to. So it truly did create this balance that I think the professional industry has been preaching, but has not been able to be successful, and all of a sudden overnight.
I think you see a lot of companies too now with this, everybody has to be back in the office kind of deal. And I'm not here to tell anybody how to run their company or what to do. And certainly there are some jobs where you need in-person employees to be there. But I think this new world that we're in is here to stay. And, you've got to allow people to be happy at work, especially here. It's always grind all the time. Give me the most, do it, and if you can let people be relaxed and comfortable, they're happier. I've got an employee who I never know where in the country she is. Sometimes she's in Austin, sometimes she's in Colorado. I never know. Sometimes she's other places. It doesn't matter. She logs on, she handles business. It's great. So that's really what we're about now.
Well, I think it's important just to piggyback on what Alex said. Sales Boomerang was the fastest growing mortgage tech company last year, and number 101 overall in Inc. 5000 tech companies. So you can be remote, you can be wearing t-shirts all day and still grow a super valuable, like the most valuable mortgage tech company at the same time. So pretty awesome, I think.
That's amazing, and congratulations on your merger and your success. By the way, that's
Thank
really
you
awesome.
so much. Thank you. It's been an amazing ride, like yours already. You've started off with a bang, and it takes team members like Richard and an industry that was hungry for something that they've been thinking about for a long time, just has not been able to be executed. And so I do like to say that it was the right time, right place, and it was bound to happen, and we were just the lucky ones that brought it to the market at the right time. So it's and of course it does take heart to do it right, and that's what this team has. A lot of is heart. Like you say, you put your team first. That is literally kind of been our approach from the start.
That's so awesome.
Well, so let's do a quick pivot. I want to talk a little bit about the business right now. Like, where are you getting business from? I'd like to know. You mentioned a couple things to me. One of the things you said was more price decreases than new listings. What does that? That's the first time I've heard that. What does that mean in Austin?
So you have more. We've got all the data going to the MLS, right? Where the majority of houses are listed, and every week they'll put out the stats of how many new listings there are, right? And then the other thing you see is now how many actives are there. Or how many pendings rather are there? How many price decreases? How many withdrawals? And you look at this chart, and Austin's gone from roughly about 2 weeks or so, 2.5 weeks, of inventory at the beginning of May to we're very close to 3 months of inventory today, right? So just in less than 60 days, that amount of inventory has been added. At the same time, you know, people are, you've got a ton of sellers coming to the market. Rates are going up. We got to sell this house even though you see all these new listings coming on, you are seeing more sellers drop their price than sellers going under contract.
Yep.
So that chart is now new listings, price decreases, pendings. And so we're at, the pending levels are lower than they've been in quite a while. And once people kind of get used to this new normal and rates stabilize, that'll definitely turn. And, just like every other cycle, nothing's forever. But it's an interesting market to be in. As far as where we get our business, we're a purchase first company. We're primarily realtor referrals. So, a lot of our marketing is geared not just to our database for our past clients, but also towards realtors and giving realtors different things of value that other companies aren't doing. And really keeping us top of mind with them.
You make along yourself the most important person in the agent relationship. Is that what you guys do?
That's the goal. Absolutely. We're it's not just here's a borrower, get him pre-qualified. It's also collaborating on how would you get this offer accepted. Although we don't necessarily need it right now, we did just roll out our 2-week closing program, right? So we'll close a loan in 2 weeks from contract to close. Things like that. And then also, how do you, in this market, maybe the seller doesn't want to decrease the price, but maybe we can get them to pay money towards buying down the interest rate. Really trying to collaborate with our realtors and be a trusted source of them. Different things come up with the county. How do you deal with homestead exemptions and property taxes? And what is this going to look like next year? Things that you might not think a lender should know any more than a realtor, but a lot of times we do because, we have to be the most important person in their world to continue to be trusted and get those referrals. And then again, and then after that, of course, obviously you just have to execute every time.
Yeah, I think it's so brilliant of you in positioning yourself as the most important person in a relationship with an agent, because I think that's missed in so many ways. So many people believe the agent is the person at the head of the table and what they say goes. And it's like, no, find a way to play as a team, and then see if you can inch your way ahead, simply because the lowest common denominator is a lender in a transaction.
Oh, yeah.
I can totally buy a house without an agent. Totally. But most people buy houses with agents. However, we know that we have something of such value. And if you're offering programs that support the relationship beyond the transaction, beyond, all right, now I got a house, what next? If you're offering those types of supporting systems, processes, whatever that is, and getting the customer back and getting the customer to see you and the agent as a valuable asset to them, right? Isn't that the best when the customer goes, I need you both?
100%.
That's key.
And the thing is too, a lot of guys to that point, especially over the last 2 years, people didn't get out and see agents, right? No. And just take them for granted. Oh, just send me business, I'll close it on time. And that's okay, that's fine. But what are you doing to differentiate yourself? And then, you spent your time qualifying this customer and going through the motions. Now they're under contract. Now it's time to lock in a rate. Now they're going to go online and they're going to find the guys that are working for a gross commission or a gross revenue of 25 or 30 basis points, which makes it difficult for some people to keep up. But these are just some guy buying leads that doesn't know how to put a loan together, doesn't necessarily know how to keep things smooth and close on time. And then you have that agent that's really being your advocate saying, hey, you really need to stick with my guy. It's not just about interest rate. It's about rate, fees, process. And all of those things go together. It's the old saying, good, fast, and cheap, but you can only pick two, right? And having that agent really be your advocate and drive them back is huge. So
I think one of my favorite things that you said earlier on was, hey, I'm not just somebody that's going to do a loan for you. I'm going to ask hard questions. I'm going to get creative. I get loans done. I don't do loans. I get them done. And I love that. It's like, how do we get creative? No, you don't need this loan right now this way, but you could use it this way, or wait a minute, you're a little early, or wait a minute, you're a little bit behind, whatever it is. I like that you're willing to say no to the consumer I don't want your business just to do a loan that's not good for you. Now, there's people that have to do a bad loan because they have to, and you can
Sure.
recognize that too. And so I just think it's brilliant. But how do you recruit people that have that same belief? Because there's so many loan officers out there that are like, dude, I'm doing a deal. I don't care.
The way I would say is we're not a company for everybody. We're just not. If it's only about the deal and not about caring about the customer, and everybody does business their own way, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not here to knock anybody. But if it's more important to close a deal than to take care of a human, we're probably not the right company for you.
Love that.
Right? It's we can do this. We can make a good living, but we can also be helping people. And
that blew my mind. I just did an explosion, but it turned out as black smoke. It was weird. Let's do it again. There it is. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
That blows my mind for real. Like the fact that you're saying that, and it's not just lip service. You are serious. Hey, loan officer, don't come here. If you're just trying to do loans and you don't really care what the results are going to be for the customer, wrong place. You chose the wrong place. It's okay, but you're not supposed to be here. Yeah. That stance, I think, has, we talked about what made you successful, what's making you successful. I think that has to be at the top of the list, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thank you. Yeah, and the other thing is too, that goes to all the other loan officers here, right? If you have one loan officer in here causing a lot of problems, gumming up the process, then the other guys that are over here being technicians, getting things done, that's going to impact their turn times for underwriting and closing and everything else. And, so we've all got to be bought in. Even, we're all on the same team. Jim might not make money off of John's closings, and Mark might not off of Amy, but none of that matters. We're all in this together. We're all on the same team. And it really takes a team atmosphere for everybody, whether they're on the same team making money together or just at the same company. They've all got to play by the same set of rules and be bought in, because if not everybody's successful, then nobody's successful.
Look, I'm gonna, because I got to jump in a second, but I'm gonna end it with this. Anyone that's listening to this, you got to buy Max's book. He doesn't even have it yet, but you got to buy his book. Here's why. If you're in the lending space and you are telling your team, just do whatever it takes, you're losing at some point. If you're in the lending space and you have this person following this playbook, this person following this playbook, this person following this playbook, you're going to lose. This is the first industry I've ever seen where organizations allow their team to do whatever they want. Can you imagine in a Fortune 500 company, you sit down and one loan officer or one salesperson is using this CRM, this one is using that CRM, that one is using that CRM, this one is using this marketing automation, and that one is using that marketing automation? That company wouldn't be a Fortune 500 company. If you want to make lots of money consistently, okay, build a consistency in your business. Sorry, I got to look over top of all this money I'm making. Expect your team to follow your process or join another team. And Max just showed you that in 2 years, you can get to $1 billion in business, and he's not stopping. Well, you're listening to this in 2022, everyone. While everyone else, I don't have tiers that I can play automatically, but everyone else is doing this. Max is doing this. He's like, let's go team. Don't join me unless you follow my process. We want to help people. And the business is going up and up and up. I got to jump, but my goodness. Richard, thank you for allowing me to join. Max, thank you for allowing me to sit in. You're killing it. I want to learn more about you. When you do write that book, I'm your first customer, and I want a signature on that book.
That's awesome. Thanks, man. It was great.
Pleasure, Max. Thanks, Richard.
Adios, Alex. Well, look, I think that's a good segue to wrap up here, honestly, Max. I think if there's any plug that you want to give to any loan officer that might be listening, go for it. If anybody's in the Austin area or in some of the markets that you do business in, and maybe they want to learn more about you and loan people, this is your time, man. How do they reach
please.
out to you?
My email is max.leaman, Leaman, @loanpeople.com. Again, max.leaman @loanpeople.com. My phone number is 512-617-5636, 512-617-5636. We are currently licensed doing business in Colorado, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, Florida, Tennessee, and New Mexico should be online in the next week or two. And we're continually looking to expand, going into Washington State, Oregon, California, New Mexico. We want to be everywhere. So, would love to talk to you guys. Like I said, we've got a very open, transparent platform. pretty much every product you could ask for. I don't want to lose a loan because we can't do it. So we pretty much have everything. And yeah, Richard, I really appreciate you guys having me on today, and it's been awesome.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us, Max. We'll see you next time on Mortgage Masterminds. Thanks for listening. If you like the podcast, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe, and tell all your friends about the show. We at Sales Boomerang started this podcast to elevate the mortgage lending industry by sharing the kind of exclusive, insider knowledge from the successes and failures of the best of the best. The foundation of every successful lender is borrower retention. Sales Boomerang is the #1 fully automated borrower retention system in the industry. 1 in 2 of the biggest lending companies in the United States use Sales Boomerang to make sure they reach out to their borrowers when they need a loan, and more importantly, before their competitors do. If you want to learn more about Sales Boomerang, check us out at salesboomerang.com.